Your helmet up real quick.
Where you coming from?
Get out now! Whoa!
How would you handle yourself at a DUI checkpoint with an officer in your face? Today, I'm reviewing 3 DUI checkpoint refusals, and we'll see who does the best job of protecting their rights while remaining calm under pressure. I'll be giving each driver a star rating, along with some quick tips on what you could do better if it was you in that driver's seat. I'm attorney Andrew Flushy, and today's video is all about defending your rights at a DUI checkpoint. Let's see who refuses best. Ryan Scott is our first contender. He rolls up at a DUI checkpoint in Illinois.
Evening, officer.
Good evening.
Before we continue, I'd just like to let you know that you are being recorded right now.
Okay, that's fine.
So I would just like to know why I'm being pulled over.
We're doing a roadside safety check.
Okay.
Ryan is talking way too much. He's trying to assert his rights, which I applaud, but if he had consumed any alcohol recently, he's giving the police a lot of words out of his mouth by which they can claim that he's slurring his speech, and if there is alcohol in his breath, there's lots of opportunity for them to smell that alcohol.
Am I being detained?
What's that?
Am I being detained?
Well, right now we're just conducting our job, making sure
Okay.
that everyone's on the road driving safely.
Okay. Is that
Yes, you can. You are not free to leave right
so far? Everybody's being safe. Am I being detained then?
now. You're not free to leave.
Am I
Okay?
being detained?
Of course he's being detained. If the police erect a roadblock across the road and not let you pass unless you go through their roadblock, that is by any definition a detention. There's no need to ask if you're being detained in this scenario.
We're making sure that everybody's driving safely.
Oh, I understand. Thank you for.
Now, I've explained
for doing your
myself.
job. Absolutely.
Okay. And we do have the legal right to stop you right now.
Oh, I
So
believe this is
okay, hold on,
unconstitutional,
hold on, I'm
but
speaking.
Ryan and I agree that these roadblocks, or traffic safety checking details, as the police would call them, are unconstitutional. However, under the current status of the law, the United States Supreme Court disagrees with us.
Now, like I said, I've asked you for your driver's license to prove
you
insurance.
actually didn't
Now,
ask
please
me
give it
for
to me.
my driver's license back.
Ryan is definitely correct that the officer has not asked for his driver's license yet. However, what purpose does it serve to argue with the officer on this point? Nothing.
License, but I'm actually not obligated to provide that if I'm not being detained.
Unfortunately, Ryan gets the law wrong when he then says that Illinois does not make him show his driver's license if he is not being detained. Illinois law specifically requires him to display his driver's license upon the demand of law enforcement.
I'm not being detained.
What? You are
Whoa,
obligated.
whoa!
You're obligated. Get out now.
Whoa!
Get out now. Driving's a privilege,
Sir.
not a right. I'm telling you to get out right now.
Excuse me, I'm not.
We asked for your
resisting at all.
license and insurance. Yes, you are resisting
I can
at this
provide.
point.
No, sir, I
Then
can
give us your
provide it.
license and insurance,
Absolutely.
like he was asked.
Absolutely, sir. And
This is not unconstitutional. I already explained it to you. Driving's a
Sir.
privilege and not a right.
understood. This is my driver's
Good.
license. My
Thank
insurance
you.
Card. You're welcome. I
don't know. I'm looking at it. You refused to
I
provide
did
it
not
originally,
refuse.
didn't you?
Absolutely not. I did not refuse anything.
Is this
I
your
said-
current address?
I asked. I would not like
Is
to
this
answer
your
any.
current
I'd like to
address?
remain silent, sir, unless I have an attorney present.
That probably isn't the response that Ryan was looking for. Unfortunately, he says he wants to remain silent, yet he keeps talking.
Attorney present.
Is this your current address?
I would like to remain silent, sir. I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have a more current insurance card?
I would like to.
Of course, at this point, this backup officer is hopping mad, and frankly, he's being a jerk.
That I have the right to remain silent.
Really? Are
Absolutely.
you sure?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Am I free to leave?
Sit on. Yes,
Thank
now
you.
you are.
You guys have a great night.
I give Ryan 3 out of 5 stars. He talked way too much, he argued with the officers, and frankly, I'm surprised he didn't end up being detained for much longer or perhaps even arrested. Our next contender is two-stroke yard sale.
Where we going?
What's up?
Put your helmet up real quick.
Sure.
You got anything to drink today?
I don't want to answer any questions.
You have anything to drink or no?
I don't want to answer any questions.
Have you had anything to drink today, sir? I can detain you for an hour. Just answer me yes or no.
No questions.
Our motorcyclist friend is off to a better start than Ryan. He simply asserted that he doesn't want to answer any questions and he's not talking much. The officer falsely says that the officer can detain the motorcyclist for up to an hour, and the motorcyclist smartly does not argue with that officer's lie. The one recommendation I'd make at this point is that he simply should have stated, "I invoke the Fifth Amendment," and then remained silent. You don't need to continue to invoke your right to remain silent. You just need to be silent.
Are you ordering me? Where to? Where?
Great job! The officer first says, "Do you want to pull over here?" To which the motorist then asks a simple clarifying question. "Are you ordering me to?" The officer then responds and make it clear that yes, it is an order to pull over to the side of the road. If the officer was simply requesting that the motorcyclist voluntarily pull over, the motorcyclist can simply say no thank you, or not respond at all. But if the officer's ordering the motorcyclist to do it, then it's best to probably comply and fight over whether that order was lawful at court.
It's very simple. Just asking if you had anything to drink today. That's all.
I heard you.
Okay. So if you had anything to drink today,
I told you no questions.
could you do me a favor? Lift up your visor for me.
I'm not going to do any favors.
Would you lift up your visor now, please?
Are you ordering me?
I am now. Thank you. No problem.
I told you no questions.
Why is that?
He's doing a great job of not answering questions and clarifying requests versus orders. Raising a helmet visor is a tricky situation. If the motorcyclist does not comply with the police order to raise his visor, the police might detain him longer and maybe even forcibly remove the helmet or raise the visor at least. After all, it's one of the police officer's actual lawful duties to identify the driver and make sure he's got a valid license to operate the motor vehicle. If the officer can't actually see the driver's face, then it would be impossible for them to match the driver's license photograph with the driver to make sure that you're the right person for that driver's license. This is why it probably is not worth the fight over raising a visor, or if you have really dark tinted windows, it's probably not worth the fight of rolling the window down a little bit so the officer can actually see your face and make sure you're the correct person driving.
Let me know when I'm free to go.
All right. Have you been drinking at all?
Let me know when I'm free to go. I'd like to go now.
I'd suggest that this interchange is unnecessary. The motorcyclist is clearly detained at this point, and so he is not free to go at this moment. But perhaps he's saying that he'd like to go to put some polite pressure on the police to end the detention.
Do you have any ID on you?
I told you no questions. Are you demanding ID?
Yes.
Get it out of my pocket here.
Please, please. Alright, no alcohol today. That's all we're asking. We're just
I
trying
told
to
you
keep
no
our highway safe.
questions.
Okay. There you go. Feel free to leave.
Nice! License is verified, and the officer utters the magic words, "You're free to leave." So this is where the motorcyclist rides off into the sunset, right?
Have an incident report number, please?
We don't have an incident report right now.
Well, you can get one for me.
You want my card?
Sure.
I can give you my card.
And you're the one who stopped me. You can write it on his.
Please call me and I will give you all the information you need to know. Alright?
Sergeant.
Alright? Sorry to inconvenience you. We're just running the checkpoint, making sure to keep our road safe.
At this point, the motorcyclist has remained on the scene of his own free will. The detention is over, and this has become now what we legally call a consensual encounter. The police can still continue to talk with the motorcyclist, look at the motorcyclist's equipment, his demeanor, they can ask him questions even. Everything is fair game because the motorcyclist is consenting to be there at this point. There are plenty of cases where a traffic stop occurs and it ends. However, the motorist remains on scene and the police continue to investigate, and then they turn up some other evidence where they decide some crime has occurred. That gives them reason to maybe detain you again or just simply proceed with charging you or arresting you. If the police utter the magic words that you're free to leave, you should take that hint and you should leave quickly and safely. I give this motorist 4 out of 5 stars. He was calm, he asked for clarification, and he followed orders when they were orders. However, he definitely should have left the scene when he was told he's free to go. Our final contender is Jesse, who is a lawyer himself. Let's see how Jesse does. Jesse had to wait a long time in this line, and long lines always put people in a bad mood.
So we're gonna go through this checkpoint. You're gonna see that I have my window cracked just about this much. There's like an inch cracked here. I have my license, registration out. I'm gonna go through. We're gonna hand them license and registration, and we're not gonna say anything. And that's all you have to do. Let's check it out.
Yes! Have your documents handy and get ready to not say anything. Will Jesse follow his own advice?
How you doing? You roll your window down for me? Roll your window down for me a little bit further, okay? Just a little bit further. Can you roll your window down for me? Where you coming from? Still live in Raleigh? Have a good night, sir.
5 stars. Jesse provided his required documentation and he remained silent despite having to wait so long for the roadblock. My only critique would be the window. When the officer first asked Jesse to roll the window down, it definitely sounded like a request. However, the officer repeated himself and made it very clear that he was ordering Jesse to roll the window down, and Jesse shook his head no. It really doesn't serve much of a purpose to refuse that order. If the police think there's some reason that they want to get you out of that vehicle under Pennsylvania versus Mims, we've talked about before on this channel, they can definitely order you out of the vehicle. For step-by-step tactics on how to handle a DUI checkpoint, check out my next video. I'll see you over there. And remember, don't talk to the police.